Welcome back. We're here at our final signature and it's going to be a double waterfall. So let's just kind of get down here. We are going to use some magnets. So you're going to need to have 4 of them. Get that moved out of the way. I'm going to move these out of the way. Base page. Now, I thought about using this side, and then I have wood on 3 places, and I thought that was just going to be way too much, so I flipped it over. So this measuring across here is going to come in at 7 5/8 of an inch, and then in the height we're going to come in at 7 7/8 of an inch. You're going to cut 2 pieces of cardstock that will be 7 inches by 3 1/2 inches. You'll have 2 of these. And we're going to be cutting this piece down to size. It's going to eventually cover this panel when we get the last photo waterfall piece put in. I'll say it yet. So that's what's going to sit here. Then you're going to want to make 10 of these, so 10 of them that are going to measure 5 1/2 inches across by 3 1/2 inches, and you're going to score along this line 1/2 inch. And then I'm rounding my corners on everything. I've inked everything. So if you want to pause the video right here and go ahead and cut all these pieces, it would be a good spot to do it in. And then you can start it back up, and then you'll be at the point where I'm starting to add everything. We're going to add these. So here we go. We're going to start. We're going to add these to this piece, and I might have to trim this down just a smidgen because I don't want it any larger than my photo mats. So let me get this in here. It's just like 1/16 of an inch. And I'm going to I'm using a piece, I hate to waste good pieces of cardstock. I'm using a piece that I had a bad cut on, so it's got some lines in it, but they're going to get covered up. I don't care. So anyway, we're going to mount all 5 to each, all the way down this, and then this as a whole piece will go on the paper. And once we get the 5th one in place, that's where we will cut this so that it's only covering what's necessary. So I'm going to spend some time adding and building on this. And I'm going to do both of them. So it's going to be a bit on this section to get all this done. So I'm going to start by getting this is my base. So this is what's going to set the pace for making sure that everything is getting on there. What am I doing here? I should have just separated these, but okay, so I'm going to take this off. And I'm going to line this up here. apologize if my head is getting in the way. It's not my intention. I need to firmly just rub the dickens out of this to straighten it out. There we go. Okay, and then the last piece. Oh, wow, that was really crooked. Huh, not sure what happened there, unless I cut this piece wrong. Let's make sure it's square. So I'm at 3.5 by 5.5. I've got my 1/2 inch score. So this should line right up to the bottom. Interesting. I almost have to put that on a little lopsided by a fraction of an inch, but then that way they all line up. I'm going to run tape along the back side. Well, that was weird. I'm going to build both of these first before I put them on because I want to make sure I'm putting them on evenly spaced around and in between them. So I am just going to get these built. All right, there's that one. Ta-da. Okay. Oh, there's a piece. So much for ta-da, goodness sakes. On there straight. Okay. The death of the undo bottle. But I have no worry. I have to take this off because I'm off a fraction here and I can see it's a fraction up there. I just can't tolerate that, so I'm going to open up a fresh bottle, take that thing off. I'm going to undo this. I'm going to move it. I'm going to take this one off, and I'm going to give it a chance to dry, and I'm going to put another one on in place of it. I have a shadow overhead here. It doesn't matter how much lighting I put in this room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have this terrible, terrible shadow, so sometimes it's hard for me to see. So I end up twisting things to get past the shadow. So I apologize if I'm constantly coming out of screen. I can't help it. I have to be able to see what it is I'm doing here. And now we'll put some tape back on this. Okay. I have some tape overhang here, so bear with me just a second. There we go. All right, so now I've got these two strips. I want to try to be as evenly spaced, edge to edge, and then the center. I don't want much interference with the panels flipping and turning. So I think that pretty much does it right there. So I'm going to see, where am I at? I'm going to pull this. I want to be about a ½ inch off the top. It's easier for me. Yeah, I'm going to be about 3/8 of an inch off the top, because I'm going to be about 3/8 of an inch down here at the bottom as well. Oh, my pencil mark didn't work. Let's get the tape on the back of this. Use my thumbnail to try and get it. I gotta try to find one of these. These tools have got rounded corners. 1/4 inch and a ½ inch would be great. Oh, my pencil mark worked there. Interesting. But I think I'm going to remove it because I've got this one in. I do want to measure and make sure that this still read 3/8 of an inch. Very good. I'll take this one off. So now this long piece, I will simply bring it down here, and I want to cover this score mark flap that we made. So I'm just going to cut that right there. Quickly ink that edge. And then this is going to get glued right here, and I'll do that on both pieces. But let's finish with this. Oh, come on. So I'm going to go ahead and attach this because it's floating around now, so I don't want to lose it amongst all of my scraps here. Now I did pretty well wipe out my scraps. What would not fit these, I'm going to make some photo mats out of them. And then we'll get the other long one and we'll come down. See, I already rounded my corners, so I know where I want that to stop at. That's junk. Do a quick ink. So this gives you back down here another photo mat where you can place photo, or you can journal here, because this ends up being from the gusset score line to the bottom of this is 5 inches. So it's the same as one of these. All right, so now, before I go start covering all this, I want to make this piece. So this measures 3 inches by 5 5/8, and we're going to have a 1/2 inch score and a 3/4 inch score, and we're going to come up to the 1/2 inch score line, and we're going to center this piece. Because I'm going to put where is it? Oh, here it is. I'm putting this on here on this piece. So it will come down here. This will be glued to the belly band, but we're going to put magnets here and here, which will be on the back side of this. And then I cut a piece to cover the back side to hide the magnets. All right, so let's get this centered as best as possible. So that's about 2 1/4 inches, and that's about as close as I'm gonna get. 2 1/4 plus a hair on the other side. Okay. This is going to go here. And then I cut another piece that's going to fit on the back side of this. So then when this comes on, you have just a little bit of wood grain that shows down at the bottom, and then when you turn it over, you'll have a spot here to put some smaller photos, or to do some, let me get it up better in frame, or small photos, or do a lengthy journal for what's happening up here in the photos. But here and here's where the magnets are gonna go. So I'm going to start assembling this because we've got to get the magnets set on these top panels. Oh, come here. Okay, so and I'm just going to kind of lightly put them on because until I get this whole piece assembled, I may have to adjust the placement of the magnets. I know what I want to have happen. So this is going to come across here like this. Let me get up here a little bit better. And I don't want the belly band to interfere with the magnets. So I'm going to move this one over a hair so that the belly band is essentially coming in between the two. Now if I measure from here to here, I've got 1 inch. And then I've got 1 inch over here. So I've got these perfectly placed. So let me share. That's a miracle. All right, so from this rounded piece, we're about, we're a hair over 3/8 of an inch from edge to edge. And this one here is 3/8 of an inch. So I think you would be safe to be as right at 3/8 of an inch from here to this edge, but err on the side of caution. Make sure that when you put these together that it falls right in between them. And then this is going to come up here like so, and then the magnets are going to go on. So let's finish this assembly. I want the wood grain on here. And then I'm going to put this piece on. Okay, and then, oh, you know what that means? I have to put the backing on this first. Where did it go? Right there it is. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is this. I cut this piece, so I'm going to center it with the magnets to the outside as if this was glued on. And I'm going to let it find their partners. I'm going to put a little bit of tape on the back side of these magnets. I'm going to peel them off carefully. And then I want to line this up. I'm coming edge to edge. And I want to make sure this gusset is standing tall and that we're square. My brain's saying this will work, but in reality, will it? Oh, look at that. Okay, which means now I can untie this. And I'm gonna take the tape off. And I'm gonna glue this on. Okay, and then this is going to go back on there like that, but I need to, do I want to glue this down or do I want to tape it down? Okay, this is I am beyond redemption now. I think I'm going to come underneath here just a little bit with some glue. Ay, 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 ay. But I want to put my bow back on. Okay, perfect. So far, I am very pleased how this is turning out. Now, this is the chipboard piece I chose to put here, Follow Your Dreams, and I'm just going to kind of glue it down. And then the belly band closure will be done. I don't want to center it in between the wood piece down here. There we go. See, now it's done. And you can still, like I said, you can put your journaling, you can put photos right there. So now the only thing that's left to do is just hurriedly, so we can shorten this video up, is to start gluing our panels in place. So I'm going to get everything else out of my way. And here we go. I should have probably taped that, but I feel good about my construction. If not, I can at least undo this, literally. And make a new one. I'm going to flip this under so I can get this a little closer to me. And again, majority of these came from the scraps. I utilized as much as I had that would make the appropriate cuts. I did have to cut into 2 of the remaining 12 by 12 sheets to finish so that I could cover both sides. If I had just stayed with covering one side, I would not have needed to cut into the 12 by 12 sheets. But there were plenty enough left, so it just made it kind of okay. Oh, and I just realized there's something that I need to do, which I will do off camera. I'll tell you what it is because it's just going to take way too much time now. I should have had them prepared. But the spaces between this space right here, I'm going to be cutting 3/8 of an inch wide strip from my scraps, and I'm going to fill that in. There'll need to be 10 of them, or maybe just 8, because the panel that we covered in the very back actually covers that last section. I just don't like seeing all that blue in there, so I'm going to cover it. But I let you know that, so if that's something you want to do, that's how I'm going to finish this when I'm done here. It's certainly taking enough time to cover these as it is. See, this piece covered that gusset mark that we made. Okay, so that side is done. Now we'll work on this side. Now you can, if you want, I generally put an element here because there's plenty of photo spaces. And if I did, it would be either one of the remaining tags or a chipboard piece. Maybe I would cut a floral and put there, but if you want to reserve it for actually a photo, because this is what it's going to look like when it's closed. So any element that you put here is going to get covered up anyway, but I leave that up to you if that's something that you want to do, is to put something here. See that score mark that was on that? Just got all covered up. And I've got to think about how I'm going to add where I'm going to add gems. I'm thinking. Almost done. Oops, upside down. All right, for all purposes intended, it is finished. The only thing that I'm going to do off video is I'm going to cut the 3/8 wide strip by not quite the length of this, and I'm going to cover all of them so that that looks finished. And I'm still thinking about what to do here. I'm not sure that I'm going to do anything, but just to let you know. But for bling, I could go all the way around this. I think I've got plenty to do that with. So that is also something I will take my time at doing because I've got to go around these corners. So I'm going to add bling to this. So add your bling to this tag piece. I'll have to undo my ribbon again. And then that'll add some spark and some brightness, so it won't matter so much that there's not anything up here. Okay, so let's turn it over and let's get our tape added to the back side, and then let's go ahead and let's get it in the album. Now the center support strips, I'm going to make sure I run them the length of the waterfalls. So run them the length of the waterfalls so that the support, the weight of those is supported by the tape in the center. Okay. And this is going to come in here like so, just a hair off this edge. And I'm lining up to about 1/16 of an inch off the top and the bottom. Now I'm going to try and be brave and do it this way. So if I am handy with this right here and just gently lay it down. Oh, look at that. I did it. Now I'm going to quickly come under here and burnish. And then I can take the rest off. That tape is really holding that down there. I'm going to hold this up so that I can get in here. Come on, come on, come on, come on. It tore. What a bugger. Come on. Let me in there. There's that, and then I got one final piece right here. Ooh, so excited. Got this done. All right. We are done. We've got our signatures, we've used our tags, we've used our large chipboard, we've got big and small bling featured throughout this. And it's done. Thank you so much for playing along, and I apologize for some of the construction errors. I do hope that I gave you some solutions to fix it. I will continue to work on that element of my album making to make sure that I address those issues in the future. So please stay subscribed, and I hope to see you on the next build. Until then, bye-bye.